Hello again, college football fans. This is part two of my championship week review video. I just wanted to continue some of the train of thought that I had going in the earlier one. Towards the end of the video, I said that these games where, the underdog wins, but it's one of those games where after it's over, everybody is, in retrospect, realizes that the best team was always the one that was given the underdog role, and that, it just, everybody has learned, you know, they've seen reality. Reality has been revealed, and I like to call those green light games. And the reason I call them green light games is because it's like the, it's like you're paying more attention to the green light than to the Mack truck that is coming and obviously not slowing down. He's obviously not seen the red light. He hasn't listened to Herb Street and all of the ESPN crew talk about, this generationally great defense. The guy driving the Mack truck is Nick Saban and Alabama. And he's not worried about the fact that Georgia's number one and they're number three and Vegas has you a 6-point underdog, because all of that stuff is society's idea of what reality is. All of that stuff is, well, it's a green light. That means that I can go, right? Well, it's a green light and you can go, but there's a Mack truck coming that's not going to slow down. And that Mack truck is going to flatten you. And what are you going to do after you're dead? Are you going to go tell St. Peter or, whatever? Well, I can't believe that happened. I had a green light. They're going to say, well, you're an idiot because obviously that Mack truck overrides the green light. The Mack truck is reality. The green light is the polls. The green light is the sports writers and, the number 3, on Alabama's helmet, or before their name. I mean, come on. And Alabama does this kind of stuff all the time. I fell in love with Alabama because they won a national championship in a game against a Miami team that they were given no shot against. That, the narrative going into it was, that Miami was the Mack truck, and then reality set in. And I love it when that happens, and I love when Alabama does that, because that's what made me fall in love with them in the first place. And being a little kid, I didn't realize that, most of the time when you're a dominant winner, everybody sees it coming and everybody says, oh yeah, they're the best, and then they go out and show everybody that they're the best, and that's not as fun, not nearly as fun. And so that's one of the reasons why I was so excited to get to be the underdog going into this one, because you could see that. I mean, if you were me, you could see it coming, and we were going to get another one of those green light games where we get to be the Mack truck and say, yeah, you had the green light, but you probably should have stopped and just let us go through. And I wanted to continue talking about the playoff now that the playoff games are set. Talk about Cincinnati a little bit. I don't think I've said it in any of the videos, but I have had a feeling for a while now, especially after we had the loss. And this season has felt a little bit more like the 2015 season, I guess, than any other Saban season that I can think of, because, that was a year that we lost against Ole Miss in a wild game. It was a different kind of a loss, but we got buried by the media. The dynasty is over for sure. It's been 2 seasons since they won a national championship, and now they're losing to Ole Miss early in the season. So, obviously Saban has come and he had a great run, and now it's over. And then we had a game against Georgia where we were an underdog for the first time in a long time. And we boat raced them in their place in the rain. Still one of my favorite regular season games under the Saban era, because of, it's the same reason. It's so much fun to be the underdog and go in there and show everybody that not only were you wrong, you should have known that you were wrong. You should have known better. Because a lot of times, the underdog wins, and it's just because their competitive spirit rose above and they, against all odds, do it. But Alabama seems to be the underdog in these games where it's like, why are you making us the underdog? Y'all know better than that. We've proven it over and over again. You know who we are. Don't give us that underdog crap. And so that's very fun if you're an Alabama fan. And I feel like this playoff is very similar, because the last time we played in the Cotton Bowl, for the playoff game was against a Michigan State team in 2015 who was, a gritty underdog type. Nobody ever would have ever thought they'd make it to the playoff. And they hung their hat on defense and all that, and Cincinnati is the same kind of team. They hang their hat on defense, and I've already had to hear about how it's a good matchup with Alabama. And, the team that we've had this year, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a close game, but they're not winning. Cincinnati's not going to win that game. You can go ahead and mark it down right now. Take your bag of money to Vegas if you want to. Nobody expects them to, but we're going to hear about how they have a chance and how it's a good matchup and blah, blah, blah. But Alabama's going to win that ball game. So it's going to come down to the national championship game and who are our opponents. I don't like either one of them. It's not the dislike. I'm talking about I don't like the idea of playing either one of them because, first of all, Michigan, the last time we played them, we gave him a nice big FU, letting Najee run that touchdown in at the very end of the ball game after it was seconds to go in the game and we're up 2 scores and we go ahead and pile another one on. Harbaugh is going to be a guy that remembers things like that. And Harbaugh is the coach in this thing that, if there was one guy out of this group of coaches that could definitely give Saban a run for his money, it's Jim Harbaugh. Come on. And I don't want to face Georgia again for so many obvious reasons. I mean, rematches are always a nightmare to have to deal with, especially one like this where, we hurt the team. We punched them in the gut so hard again. I mean, it was such a hurtful loss emotionally for that entire fan base, entire team, coaching staff, everybody. And they've got their guy that's the better quarterback. They've got him ready, and it's like I said in the last video, JT Daniels is the one that's coming as the Georgia quarterback for the playoffs. And so they're going to have the guy now that can do it better than the other one, and they're going to have all the motivation. They're going to have their defense has a mulligan against Bryce Young. And back to that SEC championship game, yes, the Alabama offensive line was one of the most shocking things that I've ever seen their performance in that game, the way they just turned it on like a light switch, it seemed. But Georgia also helped them out a little bit by not relentlessly blitzing from the word go. And I don't know why. It's just more of that. We've got this great complicated defensive scheme and we're going to do it the way we do it. And we don't have to run. We don't have to rush more than 4 guys because blah, blah, blah. Well, I think they learned their lesson because if you will notice in the game, once they did start coming after Bryce Young more relentlessly, he started running around and not completing nearly as many passes. I know Mechie was gone, but I mean, let's face it. LSU showed us the game plan. I don't understand. I really don't understand why more coaches can't just see that when you've got these quarterbacks that are very hard to stop, you might as well hand them the trophy if you're going to give them, enough time. You might as well give the trophy to them because they're so accurate. Receivers are so good at catching the ball now. You're just not going to stop them if you give them time. And so all that being said, I'm not looking forward. I feel like, if we do make it to the championship, if and when we make it to the national championship game, and if we're able to win it, it's going to take another one of those kind of performances that you saw in the 2015, the round 1 matchup against Clemson. We're going to have to pull out all the stops. We're going to have to get contributions from the defense, the offense, and the special teams if we're going to win. And it'll probably barely be a win if we manage to pull it off because those are going to be some hungry teams with, Harbaugh's already a great coach. We know that. And we know that Smart's a good coach too. And he's going to be an even more dangerous great coach if we have to play them in a rematch because of, all the things that I just said. And, I think that maybe I've finally gotten everything off my chest that I want to say about this. Congratulations to all the playoff teams. Cincinnati, Michigan, Georgia, and Alabama. It's going to be a fun one. I'm going to be coming out with more videos, certainly as the bowl game. I'll probably do an SEC bowl prediction video, preview video for those games. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that at this point. But just hang with me. It's been a fun ride. And I'm looking forward to see how the changes to the channel are going to go. I have a lot of plans in the works for maybe trying to do things a little bit, a little bit better, put a little bit more effort into this, and get people more interested. But at this point, I don't know of a single other analyst that I know that there have to be some other, Bama homers out there that predicted a win, but not a single TV analyst or anybody that calls themselves an expert predicted this. Everybody was saying, yeah, Alabama has an outside chance, but, and then they would tell you all the reasons that they weren't going to win. But like I said, I'm having a great time doing this, and I really appreciate those of you that have subscribed and those of you that do watch these videos, and I'm going to continue to do my best and improve for you guys, and hopefully we'll get some more people involved on the train and keep this thing going. And thanks again, and we'll be coming at you again real soon.